This is very heavy. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
I want to get out of the wall. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna move this thing.
Got this.
We haven't even gotten a red.
I don't have it. I unscrewed it from up there. I mean, it's heavy, but. Oh boy. Okay. Alright, one more time I'm gonna push your way. And then if not, we'll try to pull. 1, 2, 3. If it's still attached to the wall. I don't think it is.
No, we're not allowed.
Yeah, it is. Can you hand me the screwdriver?
The drill?
I'm gonna push 1, 2, 3. Lift up at the same time. 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna, for real, I want to get this done today. Do it like both. Ready, go. There we go. There we go. I don't think it's gonna be so hard to move now. Alright, I just need to do this like 5 more times. Ready? Go.
Hey there, welcome to the Crafted Holler, where I'm documenting, transforming, and quickly breaking in our family's newly built home on raw land. This is our 8th month here, and in this episode, I'm refreshing and reorganizing our home office library. Hope you enjoy. Nearly every time I walked into the office, I felt a wave of frustration. The clutter had started piling up, becoming more than just annoying. Papers began stacking higher and higher on my desk, and then the anxiety crept in, an underlying worry about missing deadlines or forgetting something important. But it wasn't just about the mess, it was about how it made me feel, overwhelmed and inadequate. So I started dreading going into the office. I had a giant digital calendar just sitting in the corner, gathering dust. I needed clarity and focus in my workspace. And I needed a system to manage my mail and bills, to reclaim control over my environment. I envisioned an organized office that would help me streamline my tasks and improve my chaotic thoughts. So I decided to take action. First, I assessed my surroundings. My desk, in which I had once been proud of just about 6 months earlier, became stifling. It was crammed back into a bookshelf, blocking the space that I needed. So I knew I had to get rid of the extra seating and the furniture. But for me, the hardest part was just starting. I worried it would take too long or wouldn't look right, but I knew if I began by taking down just a few books, I was going to keep going. The spot wasn't perfect since I needed to move the cabinet to the opposite corner, but at least I was making progress. Back wall. I hoped it would create a striking focal point and give the room a sense of depth. But first I had to clear everything out, books and decor. Getting the bookcase away from the wall was my first real task. It was heavy. So I got my son to help, but I probably should have just waited for my husband. The carpet buckled as we pushed it, and I remembered after my husband built it saying, "Well, I hope this is where you want it because I don't think it's moving." And then I chuckled to myself, but secretly hoped he was right. But here I was without his help. So once we painstakingly got it into the center of the room, I prepped the wall for paint. But even with all of my experience in painting, my foolproof method of painting around the tape with the base color, it didn't work perfectly. And so I had to go back and do touch-ups later. And it's still not 100%, but it's probably staying this way. I love this classic and rich navy color that I chose, and it made the space feel polished and grounded. I just wanted the one wall painted. No matter what trendy designers say about focal points and popularity fading, I don't care. I wasn't going to drown this tiny space in a dark color just to follow a trend. So I love these rich colors, but also enjoy a very bright interior. That's just better for my mood all around. So painting just the one wall instead of color drenching, that is the extent of my renovation for now toward the future, especially behind this bulky bookcase. But soon I will tackle another focal wall with wallpaper in my guest half bath, so stay tuned for more of my unpopular choices. So after the wall was all finished and cleaned up, we finally, with the help of my son again, moved the bookshelf back to a more central spot on the back wall. And this allowed me to move my newly wallpapered IKEA drawer cabinet next to it in the opposite back corner. This made it easier to access supplies without having to get up and connect the printer every time I needed to print something. Initially, I had planned for the IKEA cabinet to go under the table, but there wasn't enough leg room. But this piece of furniture is very functional, so I kept it and placed it in the opposite corner. When we first created the room about 6 months ago, I had a little seating area that I could see outside to my beautiful view, but it was just too bulky in here, so I swapped that seating area out for 2 nicer desk chairs. And this just opened up the room so much more and let me enjoy the beautiful view of outside. I love decorating my bookcase with quirky and classic finds, and I recently picked up a little painting at a thrift store to add it, along with some plant and herbal books. I read a lot of self-discovery books, and sometimes I buy thrift store books just for their titles. And my guilty pleasure is picking up a classic hardback book whenever I can take my kids to Barnes & Noble. Sometimes I try to change out books, and I've gotten rid of hundreds of books over the years, but I'd never part with my favorite book set. It was a 1960s kids encyclopedia set that belonged to my granny, and it's very precious to me. Eventually, I tackled the mess on my desk, the drawers, and these spaces on the shelf back on the bookcase on the lower part. I organized my documents into categories, and I set up a dedicated mail station. I even found use for a quirky leather purse shaped like an envelope, which I bought on a whim in Mexico when I just couldn't say no to the vendor. So 2 years and $70 later, what I thought was a mistake has been turned into a useful asset. Speaking of spending, I splurged on a drum fan from Wayfair, which I thought would fit perfectly with this decor, which I like to call light academia. I mean, that's kind of a trendy name for it, but it's more of like a classic, kind of quirky. I like a few little things that make it just not so typical. That's why you'll see a mix of paintings on my walls. As I finished up, I stepped back and found change in my mindset. Everything finally had its place and the chaos kind of faded away. The transformation of my office wasn't just physical, it was a mental release. And now with the space open, I've found clarity and motivation to tackle my task with renewed energy. By rearranging, I streamlined my workflow and boosted my productivity. This change transformed not only my workspace, but also just my whole approach to work. The once cramped environment now fostered a sense of flow and control, allowing me to perform my best with confidence and no matter what I'm working on. Okay, so now I'll just be quiet and then I'll let you see how it all turned out. Just enjoy the music.
He moved like a magnet, wearing holes in the carpet, counting steps to the back porch, same song from the
you for watching this transformation, and I would love for you to like and subscribe if, of course, you like the video and would like to see more. Join me soon for more updates and transformations at Crafted Holler.